So, anyways, let's get back on the topic about increase in clothing price points and whether or not it's like justified sometimes. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, yeah, from within a brand,
right?
You know, you gotta start out knowing your worth. Is I think how I put it. You don't want to sell yourself short, but again, I mean, you know, you gotta like definitely put it out there for something that, you know, someone's willing to pay before you like have like stake to your name. It's difficult to, you know, sell $250 long sleeve shirts. Yeah.
But it's still the same product, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Hood by Air shirts originally they were like $120.
Yeah, I have a $120 Hood by Air shirt.
And then all of a sudden they jumped to $250 like long sleeve.
We got a $140 hoodie.
Yeah. I remember the first price hike. It was actually on the hoodies. The hoodies went up.
So like $350.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the paid in full one. Like that's supposed to be one of the more hype ones. Like. You know.
No, the one that you have that's super hype is the Piff one.
That's what I'm saying.
The Piff one was fucking hype as fuck.
That was $350?
No, that was $140.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That Piff one was a fucking fire.
Yeah, I know. I like that one.
I mean, then I don't know how they did 2012. That was 2011, the paid in full hoodie. Then 2012, like they all like shot way up, and I was like, good thing I got that hoodie. And then,
I know, because I bought the radioactive hoodie, the one like Grant also got it at the same time.
Yeah.
I think we actually bought it from the same place too, because it took forever to fucking receive it.
Yeah.
It was like pre-orders or
whatever. Fuck that website.
But that shit was fucking mad expensive. And after you get it, you're like, yo, this is some basic shit.
Yeah, I mean, like it feels better than mine, for sure. But it doesn't
the fitting
feel...
isn't though. The fitting is shorter than yours. The fitting on it was shorter.
The arms are a little longer.
Yeah, the arms are a little.
Maybe
I'm just a little shorter.
It fit me. You know what I'm saying? Like I got like long, dandy arms, but yeah. What pissed me off most was that it wasn't like a full 100 and
Yeah.
100,
it wasn't
210
it
bucks
didn't justify
better.
it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then like I still like looked in at Hood by Air, you know, like for like the rest of the season. But then like you saw them like drop it back down again.
I think I think when it comes, there's a couple brands that I think that have had price hikes that is definitely worth it. And I think that what they did is they undervalued their product at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like John Elliott stuff.
Yeah. He
totally undervalued his product. And even at the price that it's at now, the way that it's made and the materials that he uses and how he puts it together it's worth it. What does he charge now for fucking hoodies? I think a villain hoodie is what, 170 or 180 bucks.
It's 180.
It's definitely, it's worth it. When I first bought my first villains hoodie, I think it was 160. Or maybe it could have been 150. But even then, I thought it was a steal, right? And even now, I still think like it's not, I don't think it's a ripoff. I think if you pay for a John Elliott hoodie, like you're paying for what it's worth. Those Riri zippers alone cost him a lot of money. Riri zippers alone are like fucking $13, $14 a piece. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're becoming a lot more common now too.
Yeah. Well, it's because like you have other Zippos, you have like the Cadillac of Zippos, which are like Lampos that are like the hot shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That you gotta oil.
Yeah, and then you have like you have Oyster Holdings coming out with 18 karat fucking Riri zippers. You know what I'm saying?
Is that even necessary though?
No, it's not necessary, especially when you're marketing it as like lounge airport wear.
Right, but I mean, I don't know, like having like actual like flight gear, like that sort of thing, like if you like take care of it and like, really only wear it to travel, and I respect that, you know what I mean? But
I mean, I would wear a Champion sweatsuit onto a fucking plane. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I feel
exactly.
You got one fat motherfucker that's sitting across the hall, across the aisle from you, that's just constantly coughing and sneezing.
Yeah.
You got a fucking baby behind you that's fucking crying and throwing up all types of weird shit, right? You probably got an old lady in front of you that's just constantly fucking passing gas because she can't control bowel movements anymore. And you're fucking sitting there, and what? You're gonna have a fucking $1,200 fucking sweatsuit on, and it has some gold zippers, and it's like, oh yeah, it's totally justified.
I don't know, man. If you have that flight gear, you're not sitting with all those people.
Yeah,
man.
I guess you are sitting first class.
But
even last time when I flew first class, and there were still babies and shit.
But then again, though,
Yo, this baby was crying his fucking eyes out. I felt so bad for it, man. Like, I wasn't even upset about it. Normally, I would be really upset, right? But, like,
So it must not have been that annoying. I mean, dude, the louder a baby cries, the more I want to fucking throw it.
no, I'm just saying, I'm saying outside of an airplane, like a baby fucking crying in a public place, like, kind of
Yeah, that's
annoys me,
okay.
right?
Oh, what?
But in an airplane,
In
though,
the
I
plane.
don't, because it's like when you take off, like the pressure from the plane like hurts the baby's
Yeah, I understand the baby's
fucking
probably,
soft brain. You know what I'm saying? Or
definitely.
soft skull.
It's doing some things to it.
So like I felt bad because I'm like I don't
You don't
know
know.
what their situation is, why they need to be on the plane with their baby, but they were, and I felt bad because the baby's fucking ear probably hurt. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that was totally going off the topic.
yeah, but back then I used to wear like, you know, my good shit, like going like
To the airport.
airport, like riding planes and shit. And I was like,
Jay always, he went through this whole phase where he just wanted to be flashy 24/7. I feel like everybody does.
everybody,
But
yeah,
Jay
come
was
man.
on it for a long time. After everybody fucking got sick of it, Jay was still, that was still his shit.
Like I used to like really stunt until this like one specific incident where I had to be in the plane for fucking more than 20 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Where were you going?
Probably.
PI.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was like wearing
Which
this
doesn't make
fucking.
any sense because the 20-hour flight is still long as fuck to go to the fucking Philippines. Because a flight to fucking Taiwan is, I think it's like 14 or 16 hours.
That's because you guys have straight shit that goes there. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking jungle agents, man. You guys got
Fuck.
layovers.
No, we have
That
like
layover.
we either have layovers in like Japan or like Korea or
Which doesn't make any
Taiwan.
sense because I feel like Japan is after the Philippines.
I know, right? Like
Right?
that's probably what it makes it longer.
Because you guys are going back and forth.
Yeah, like what the fuck, right?
You gotta take all these nice Japanese
Yeah.
people home first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you. But yeah, so you know that was when I was just starting to get into like raw denim, you know, selfish denim and shit right there. So imagine,
This guy wore Salvation on a fucking plane. What an asshole.
yeah.
21 hours.
And that was the time also where I was growing my hair also, so I was just hot as fuck in the plane, bro. I was like, this is fucking bullshit right now.
Yo,
Yeah.
I wear sweats. When it's time to go on a plane, I layer and I wear sweats.
Champion gear, that's Wu-Tang.
I have yet to wear champion sweats, but I would. If I didn't have anything else to wear, that's what I would wear. I always wear sweats on plane, dude. I usually don't even sleep on a plane unless it's like a long international flight.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time when I get onto a plane, like I'm up the whole time. I just want to be comfortable and just like watch a movie. You know what I'm saying?
You remember when we went to see Ghostface? You were there, right? At the blind pig? Were you there?
Yeah.
I feel like you were there.
Ghostface Killer?
Yeah.
No,
Ghostface is always on fucking.
Champion, bro.
He always got
Oh, yeah.
fucking sweatsuits on fleek, bro.
On
Champion
fleek.
gear.
Like even the fucking fittings is like the
Yo,
big ass.
even back in the
fucking
day,
suit.
even back in the day, he would have like a Nietzsche fucking full velour outfits.
I
it.
I wonder if he still really got those egos. Remember that shit?
The Eagle? I don't know, man. He hasn't been.
He
selling
probably had
too
sold
many.
that shit.
There hasn't been too many Ghostface record sales. Not enough to support having a big
Pretty
fucking
enough.
golden eagle on your arm.
You just had an album.
That would have been ill though, right?
I would like to see the numbers on that album.
I respect Ghostface.
Yeah, I
Kind of the biggest prick in the group, but
I think he's my favorite in the group.
yeah,
I've met a couple people.
Him and Method Man.
yeah, he's coming to
I
Denver.
have yet to meet them.
Huh?
I have yet to meet Matt. I've met Old Dirty
Well, nothing.
and
No.
RZA.
Damn.
Both of them were fucking shitty at the time.
Really?
What do you mean, like?
Like RZA, it was during the time that he did Bobby Digital, right? And it was at a party, and he came as Bobby Digital, and he was tripping balls. At one point, he like forgot the words to the song, and he was just like,
Up there talking.
yeah, he was
Sounded
just
like
he was like,
ODD.
which one of you motherfuckers gave me this acid? And he just couldn't stop laughing. It was like he would smoke weed to think that it was like gonna help, and it just made it worse. He was all high. Old Dirty, this was like,
That's his cousin.
Old Dirty was fucking wasted, dude, when I met him. I don't really want to go into the details about it, but he was so wasted at one point he would pretty much like ask whatever girls that wanted to go back to the hotel room with him at this party that I was at, and like none of them wanted to.
He's old dirty, man. You see
You know what
the. You
doesn't
see the.
matter? You see what these girls be doing these days? If it was fucking, if he would have said that shit now, with a blind pig,
Yeah.
you know how many of these hipster ratchet bitches would leave with him?
Yeah, I saw this Flatbush Zombie concert, and he was just like, what's the dude's name? Juice. Juice was like, just like congregating with women, just like talking. I was like, I can imagine what words you use. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Girls out here, they don't.
Anyway, there was a line
Especially-
at the tour bus. I was like, yuck.
Yeah. These hipster girls out here, they don't care, man. Some of them come from good families. They want to go slumming. They want stories to tell their fucking grandkids, right? And some of them, they just don't care. They think they're gonna get rich off of it. They're like, oh, he'll hook me up. I want to be a model.
Maybe
These girls, some of
those-
these girls out here, they're like, I'm gonna be a model.
those chicks at that party probably just saw the Shimmy Shimmy Ya video.
Yeah.
You ever seen that video?
Yeah,
With that disco?
yeah.
Damn, that shit had me dying.
This shit's fucking funny. I think Bismarck Hugh was in that shit too.
Word?
Yeah. I know that's fucking really random. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while. I could be fucking totally wrong. I don't know. Alright, so back
So
up
price
to
points.
price points. So justifying, this is the problem, right? When you're a company, especially if you're not a company that's linked with bigger conglomerates or corporations, like when you first start a company, it's really hard for you to adjust prices. Back in the day, it used to be kind of like a normal thing. Everybody would do it, right? Like when you first jumped on the scene, you would sell shirts for $25. And then after you got big, you would, all of a sudden your shirts would go up to $32.
That was like the standard.
Oh,
you know?
shit.
That was the standard thing. Like everybody fucking did that shit, you know? So it wasn't a big deal. But nowadays, it's really hard to do that. Because when you first jump on the scene and if you blow up, you build a huge following, right? And that huge following expects you to keep things the same.
Consistent.
Yeah, consistent.
Yeah.
For sure. And if you if you just change the printing of the logo, kids fucking freak out. So think about when you change the price by a few dollars, let alone a few $100s, then it becomes a huge fucking problem. And I feel like that's why Hood by Air went through a bigger slump. Not just that, but Hood by Air is also part of like the whole group of companies that started doing this shit where they sell their own product first before they ship it out to their stores. And that really hurt.
I hate that. I really hate
Because they got like a lot of these stores or a lot of these brands get greedy and they're like, oh well, we'll put it on our website first and fucking sell it, and then we'll send it out to fucking shops. And the problem with that is that by the time some of the shops get it, they don't even want it anymore. And like it doesn't, you don't create like a fucking mutual
Yeah, it's like,
relationship.
oh, we got these in. Like, didn't those come out last month?
Yeah, kids will be like, oh, it was already on their site. And like the whole thing is like, even if you're a brand, you need to stay loyal to the stores that you work with. Because one of the key things is that like even though you're hot now, at some point you're not going to be hot. And if you don't have a good relationship with the stores that carry you, they will drop you fast as fuck.
You and your camisoles.
Yeah, and that is like literally the difference in the long run of having extra income, right? Because there's some brands that we fuck with that even though, even if they weren't big deals, we would still carry them because we just have relationships with them.
Yeah.
You know, we fuck with them. So yeah, we may cut back our order, but we still put in that fucking order, and that order would fucking help when you're not selling shit. And nobody wants to fuck with you. Do you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
but we also
You're not Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
You're double RL.
No, it ain't fucking
Just
Ralph.
And just like from like, you know, having the store or whatever, it's like if you create that like good relationship with any stores or whoever, right? Like we'll push your shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like brands that like, you know, like the up and coming brands that we just picked up, or like, you know, the older brands that like we're introducing or whatever.
I
Like,
mean, all the new brands that we picked up lately though, we all started off with good relationships.
yeah. So
Do you know what I'm saying? One brand that will no longer be carried at the store fucking did some shady shit like this, and we fucking just dropped them. Not only because they did some shady shit, but just because like the relationship that they had with us totally fucking deteriorated.
If you don't have that, what's left?
And the thing is, like, this brand's not even fucking hot anymore. in all actuality, they're fucking on a downturn. Like nobody, like the shit is fucking stale, right? They've been coming out with the same fucking designs and the same shit. Like the shit's fucking stale. Okay, like they blew up because of one event and they got big. They opened up all this store. They overreached everything that they were doing. And now I'm gonna have to think that their sales are down because they're literally begging people to fucking put them back in their store.
It sounds like numerous brands, at least, you could be speaking about right
Like
now.
Huff?
You know what I mean?
Like Huff? Huff was about to go bankrupt before the fucking wheat socks hit, right? And then they flooded the market with wheat socks, and then other people started putting out wheat socks. Then everything became all about fucking weed, which is fucking
And socks.
stupid. Yeah, weed and socks. But now, what's Huff doing now?
What is Huff doing now? Do you know?
Well, obviously they gave a fucking $400,000 fucking credit to Karma Lube, which is going bankrupt. How's that fucking, take a bite out of that? What's fucking crazy though is that, like, we've met Huff, we've met Keith, right, on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah.
And Keith is a fucking cool dude.
He's cool.
He's cool as fuck. But whoever's on his fucking team that's handling his business
It's not.
is not doing their fucking job.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
When I met,
I mean, I get it. Karma Lube at one point, they churned out what? Like fucking 190 million a year? Right? I get that.
Where
What?
did that go?
Your people that, no, but the people that's in charge of your fucking business should be able to fucking predict how well Karma Loop is doing. Just off of the sheer numbers of hits that they get on their website.
I mean, you
So, whoever was part of your team that wasn't paying attention to that and just kept on churning them out fucking product, fucked up. And it fucked up to a point that a $400,000 hit to most companies would fucking end your life. You would kill yourself.
I mean, you gotta think about it too. I feel like Karma did some shady shit where.
Oh yeah.
Like that they did that, you know they they didn't inform Huff or whoever company they owe money to certain things because like when I was reading it.
Because they were trying to do the get back, man.
Yeah, like what really like
You know
put
what
them
I'm saying?
into like so much debt was they were trying to have their own network, like MTV, like they said they want their own kind of like.
Yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Which they invested so much of their money, but nothing of
What
it
they
came
should
out
have
of
done
it.
is they should have linked up with Complex. Because I knew that when Mark Echo first started that magazine, that it was going to be a big media thing. I already knew it. Because there was a big void within like the fashion and sneaker and music culture that needed a voice, and that's what Mark Echo gave with Complex.
I think Karma Loop's important to talk about because you're talking about price points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're in the shitter right now, obviously. And they had a chance to sell, but it looks like the CEO wants to stay or like come back and still be the CEO after. His name's Greg.
Oh, you're talking about Karma Loop?
Yeah.
Greg Sokolow?
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to like continue on like, you know, being like the CEO after, and I think that's really putting a lot of people off because
Yo, he used to put his fucking phone number in the emails that were sent out from Karma Loop.
Yeah.
troll that motherfucker.
Because he would be like, yo, if there's ever a fucking problem, yo, just give me a call. This is my fucking personal line. Of course, there's probably like one of 3 cell phones that he had or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that used to be that thing of building a relationship with your customer, right? And I feel like once he started flooding your fucking inboxes with all these fucking ads for other things that they're trying to do, like fucking Miss KL.
Yeah, that's another thing that put them in debt. That and
Yeah.
the Monarch project.
He actually, if he would have been, if he
That was a
would,
cool idea. Like a little bit. You know?
Yeah, a
There's
little
like Birchbox for like, you know, ladies and men now, but like, you know, like if they
but that was just his attempt of getting rid of like old product. That's what it is.
Yeah, but you know, if it wasn't like that, if like he if he was like, you know, churning out 190 like a year, like we were talking about, why wouldn't you like to like your good customers like throw them some like nice things monthly?
Remember the first box, like the first box, it was like a big deal and it was like limited. There was like a limited edition black scale shirt. There's a.
I wanted that box.
Me
What
too,
is it?
kinda, you know?
What were those fucking shiny crystal balls? Shambhala?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Or whatever, there was one of those that was limited. I remember that shit. I didn't think anybody was gonna fucking pay for that shit.
No one probably did.
You gotta be you just gotta be lost in the world to not to just want somebody to send you clothes.
Anyway, and so like he'll have products in for like a few weeks and then they'll go on sale. He'll have some promotion that allows you to get whatever they are for like 40% plus off.
Yeah.
And then, you know, what are others to do? Like this is when he was popular, like Carmen was flexing, you know. Like what are others to do at that point anymore? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
they fucked up the business for a lot of fucking brick and mortar stores.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing is like, yo, that's not, I don't know, that wasn't really kosher to do that.
Like
shit.
people hated him. And, like,
So
he
he's
set
just
res-
getting his karma now.
Yeah, got
Fucking loot. Motherfucker.
Dude, got looped as fuck. I was gonna
Yeah.
say he, like, you know, also put restrictions on these brands who'd sign with them. You know, they'd
Oh,
be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
all right, yeah, we'll give, you know, we'll make a
Yeah,
$250,000 like
you can't
order.
sell to MLTD.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or you know, like I'm sure like there was a whole long list of places you weren't allowed to go in and you know
Yeah.
sign
You
with.
can't sell the Jack Threads. You can't sell the MLTD. What was the other fucking one too? There was another fucking store that was like Jack Threads. But you couldn't do it with them. Oh yeah, I've seen some of the contracts from Jack Threads and from fucking for Plunder and for fucking Karma Loop, and they're fucking ridiculous. The shit that's in these contracts is fucking ridiculous. And
And I mean,
it's
like, what's not exciting about?
it's
you know,
very predatory.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a big company. It's like we're gonna throw a bunch of money at you,
That's what I'm saying. Like, what's not
Right.
exciting about?
but
like,
we're gonna cut.
25
It's like pretty much the same thing as like signing to like a major corporation and then like cutting off licensing for you,
Yeah.
like taking all your fucking.
Birdman roll away.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's
Kissing
super
the lips.
predatory. And obviously, yeah, it did come back on.
Not enough, I guess.
Carter 5.
You know what I'm saying? If he would have been smart about the whole media thing, then he should have linked up with Complex.
Yeah.
Because at one point he was getting fucking interviews with people that nobody else could get. You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing big interviews with people. This is like when conscious rap was big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
like he had a whole series. Remember when Mos Def was with Underground?
Yeah.
He had a whole series.
That
He had a whole series of interviewing Mos Def for it. It was like Mos Def was sitting in like
I kinda liked
the
Underground.
Fresh Prince fucking throne or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is Underground?
I've not heard anything about Underground.
They could be. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they probably have Marshalls or something.
Yeah, no, that's probably where they are though. I mean,
I
like,
don't know.
You know,
I'm sure they're
they're
around.
not
The
good,
whole thing is
they're
that
not good enough for the old
they're-
store we worked at.
It's like another brand though that boxed themselves in. They were kind of known as like, oh, the streetwear athletic sports thing, right? Yeah. So it's like they can only go so far. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like Underground for a while there.
I do too. I mean, if Underground was still around and I still saw some shit, I'd probably still, I'd look at it.
You're like, oh, that's nice.
That's nice. I like that.
Blast from the past.
I mean, think about it like this: like Leroy Jenkins, remember? They like no, I'm thinking about Lamar and Doug.
Lamar Downey, yeah.
Yeah, they were hot for a second, and then they faded out to fucking black, and then they came back, and remember they sent us the line sheet. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. And they're
And then they took a dark turn and started doing Givenchy inspired shit, and then after
that was it. That was
Pretty
it.
good.
Yeah. Anyway, where are we at again?
So there's that.
So how is there so much deviation in like the pricing for like APC jeans alone?
There hasn't been much deviation. I've been wearing APCs for 5 or 6 years.
I'm not saying from APC.
I'm pretty sure they've always been $185.
Where are you buying from?
Now?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I don't really know about.
Oh yeah.
There's a store from San Francisco that I get all my denim from. Because they always look out for me and I fuck with them heavy.
No, they've always been 180 though. Or no, when my first pair
I
was
think the
170.
black ones were the ones that went up in price.
Two.
The 210.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's across the board though, you know. I mean, like you said.
Well,
it
the black
should be-
ones are always going to be more because the dye is more expensive
Yeah.
to dye.
No, I remember
Takes
when I
longer
bought
to
my
make.
first pair
Yeah,
for like
yeah.
170 or 175. That was
I'm pretty sure I've always
way
paid.
back then.
Maybe back in the day, before a lot of people started carrying APC, you would have to go to a Barney's.
Yeah.
You would have to go to a Barney's and get a pair of APCs.
That's where I got mine from.
And I'm pretty sure even back then it was
Okay,
still
that's
around
still alright.
180. But if there was a sale going on, you used to be able to get them for like 160.
Yeah, it got the good Karma Loop ever had, and you get them for 100.
Oh my god.
All I'm
If
saying,
Karma Loop ever had them, I probably would stop wearing them.
Pretty
that's
much.
how a lot of things work, kind of though. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Once certain brands would hit Karma Loop, you just automatically kind of knew that they were gonna fucking.
Kind of like exit.
They were gonna get big and then burn out and then fade out. Yeah. Once you open the doors to giving fuckboys the same shirt that you would pay full price for 30% off on the regular every week, that's just deadening the brand. That's all it is. You stayed loyal to that brand because it was like a special exclusive thing, right? You felt like you were part of their focus and their main goal, right? But then when they sell it to a company that they know is just gonna fucking discount their shit so that it will go out to a bigger group of people, then it just becomes shit. It becomes nothing. It's not special anymore. And once it's not special, you just move on to what is special.
yeah, you keep
You know
looking.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. One thing I hate about price points though is like, you know how like certain brands raise their prices just for the simple fact that like yeah they're hyped or whatever, but like the quality is still the same or nothing actually ever changed.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like Plunder that is
Yeah.
part of Karma Loop, right? At one point, what they do is they just license out the shit.
Yeah.
They would just license it, and Karma Loop would print it on shittier shirts, obviously, so that they could sell it at
Yeah, I
a cheaper
remember
price.
that.
And, like,
Or-
finite.
Or they would just require you to print it on shittier shirts and give it to them at a cheaper price.
Yeah, and then like change finite details about things on.
Well, because like they would have to like decrease the colors
hmm
so that it would be like less screens to use. They would decrease like the
like
fucking
thin out the
quality.
prints.
Yeah, everything, dude. And the whole thing is like once there would be some brands that would do only designs for Plunder, right? But then the brands that were too dumb to fucking realize what they were doing and just put the same designs out for Plunder as they did for their main line, killed them. Because it's like when you see a kid, when you run into a kid that has the same graphic shirt, only his looks shittier, but he tells you that he bought his for $9, right? And you
That
pay
would
full
crush
price
my
for
heart.
yours, you would be like, fuck this brand.
Yeah,
Fuck these
Crush my
motherfuckers.
heart.
definitely.
Fuck their civilization.
I guess one thing I wanted to talk about too was like shoe releases and like how like you know someone like has the relationship like you know with like whatever company
Mhm.
Yeah.
like and they are able to get in like the Yeezys or like you know now it's like the Yeezy Boost, but kind of even said like he wants them to be like available to like a more general public, like he wants more people to like have his shoes.
I knew the first ones were going to be super limited. I mean, if people really think about it, it's the same thing that happened between the first Air Yeezys and the second Air Yeezys. The first Air Yeezys, there was like what, like 3,000 pairs of each?
I cannot remember.
I'm pretty sure there was 3,000 pairs of each of the three colorways. It was a low number.
Yeah,
It was a super low number. And then when the Yeezy 2s came out, it was only two colorways, but they made
more.
like 100,000 of them.
How many are there of the Boosts?
The Boost, they released, the first week that they released it, the first initial really super exclusive release in New York during NBA weekend, they released 9,000 pairs.
And all that shit.
So that
sold, right?
totaled more than all the pairs that they had for the first Yeezys.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And
So,
what year was that like for the Yeezys?
09.
09. And so think about like there was no Instagram, you know what I mean? There was like none of that shit. And like now, like the hype surrounding like Adidas and Yeezys is just like
More.
It's madness.
Yeah.
Jay was at the very first Yeezy drop. The very first Nike Air.
Number 7 in line, bro.
It was number 7 in line.
Was good.
But that was probably the most domesticated fucking line I've ever seen.
Ever. Yo, that line was fucking amazing.
Everybody was fucking polite. People brought food for each other. Everybody just chilled. People would hold your spot. Nobody cut. Nobody did shit.
Yeah.
Now, if we were to announce that we got a fucking size run of Yeezys, you know how many kids would be out there fucking beating each other up for? If we fucking just put up a sign that says the first person to kill a motherfucker like Hunger Games.
Yeah, right? Oh, yo.
You know how many fucking people would die? There'd be like mass murder out there.
But no, yeah, that line was pretty dope, man. Like, I was in there for,
It was only like a 12-hour wait too.
yeah, basically. Like, I was in,
Like, he didn't even fucking wait long.
yeah.
It wasn't like the second release where people camped out for 3 weeks or whatever.
But no, what I'm trying to say is like, that's the difference between then and now. You know, like, everything was super fucking cool. shit
Yeah.
like that. Like I fucking left and grabbed cigarettes and some fucking coffee, and like my fucking chair was still there. Nobody sat on it.
And you can say the same thing about even like entire brands now, though. It's like completely different how like they're curated, sought after, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it just happens at your fucking computer, and I mean, like, and that's like judgments passed. And like, you know, obtaining and also getting rid of. We already talked about secondhand selling, you know what I mean? Like that's already.
Well, anytime that you give the idea to somebody that is broke and uneducated, that there's a possibility that if they just sit somewhere for any given place for any amount of time, that they could make a little bit of money, that broke and uneducated person will immediately jump on it like it's like a career choice. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what happens. Like when they released the second fucking Nike SB Supreme collab dunks, right? And
Stars.
People were like, "Oh my god, no!" I'm talking about the recent ones, the elephant
Oh yeah, okay.
ones, the reverse ones.
Yeah.
Right, and
The lows.
the lows, and people were like, getting like 1,000 for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then that's what initially brought all these broke people to Supreme, because they're like, oh, if I buy a Supreme shirt on launch day, I could sell it for $60 and I can make double my money, right?
They probably started playing on the phone right after that. They're like,
Oh yeah,
We're
so
in
that's what
there.
happens. It's like the Jordan after people were riding for the Concords, and then you have all these broke, stupid, uneducated people sitting at home watching this shit on the news, and they're like, oh my god, people are freaking out. I could probably make a couple $100 off of this shit. And then all of a sudden, fucking Jordan brand jumps off, and every time there's a release, it's being sold for twice the amount that it's worth.
And the funny thing is, like, if they really calculated the time they spent to wait for that fucking particular shoe that they're just trying to resell,
But
they could have made that money working that.
But to a dumb person, they don't get that. And the way that they think is they're like, well, I sit around the house and do shit all day anyways, so I might as well go sit in line, fucking make this little $100 that I'm just gonna go blow on fucking steel reserve in a fucking dime bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they think though. That's what
But no, I'm just saying, like, you should realize this. If you're one of the, you know, I don't want to say broke boys or whatever out there, one of the fuck boys, but like, if you think about it, whatever time, effort, like, that you spent for that pair of shoes just to resell it, it's not worth it.
a smart man made twice that.
You see what?
Yeah, a smart man made twice that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
not
I mean, if you were gonna sit in a fucking sneaker or any type of drop line, and for, let's just say, I don't know, 10 hours, right? If you were to be working at a job getting minimum wage in Michigan, right, you would be $75 richer.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, to me, if I lined up for that shoe, I really want that shoe.
But if you line up for a shoe and you get the shoe, you take the chance of that shoe not even being a hype shoe and not being able to sell it
Exactly.
and make
So you
money
just
off
lost.
of it, or
what if you love that shoe though, man? You know, like what if you want to keep it?
yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. If
Well,
if
then,
you are
yeah.
to line up, you better like. I mean, that's my argument. You know, like.
There would be people there at one point over here at the Foot Locker or whatever. There would be people that would line up to buy the shoe and then just sell it to another person and was waiting for it in
Yeah.
line for like
It was super.
$25 extra.
So what's the point?
Yeah. So what's the point? Some people were even
Something
doing
to do,
really-
honestly. Like,
yeah.
it's
Some
like
people
all-
were even doing really shady shit, and they would be like, oh, they would run out of their size, so they would listen for everybody
Yeah,
else's size.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then buy it, and then be like, yo, bro, I'll give it to you for $50 extra. And you're like, you're a fuckboy.
It was so
Yeah.
dumb. And like,
I mean, we, in the whole scheme of things, what, we rarely ever had to fucking wait for shoes.
yeah.
We always had a hookup, which we were lucky, but we built those relationships through years and years of fucking sales.
So again.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, again, it goes back to that. Like, some of these like kids or like who, not even kids no more. Some of these like even like grown ass men. You're like, they don't understand how to like play relationships with other people or like.
Well, most of those people are fucking really shitty people to begin with.
Yeah, or you know how they be like on Instagram, like, oh, I need a plug. Like, no, bro, you probably should develop a relationship.
What they
and
mean
that's
by
like
when
a
somebody
plug.
says that I need a plug on Instagram, what they really mean is, hey, I want you to do a bunch of shit for me, and I want to do absolutely nothing from you, and maybe possibly even ask for a discount. That's what that means. That's literally what that means.
Well, that's not what.
When somebody
a plug
hits you up on
means to us,
Instagram and
I
they're
think.
like, bro, we should fucking collaborate, we could cross promote. What that means is I fucking have no type of following, so I want your following, so let's do something. And it'll be beneficial for both of us, but really it'll just be beneficial for me. That's what the truth is though, man.